After 9 years, I started playing Southern California nightclubs. Country music great Dwight Yoakam has spoken out at 68. He disclosed something shocking that is shaking Nashville and beyond. Fans and critics have talked, theorized, and puzzled about the rhinestone outfit and twang guy for decades. Were the tales that followed him to fame true? You can stop wondering because Dwight just confirmed what many believed, changing everything. This isn't another guitar and Cadillac story, so buckle up. Unfiltered Dwight Yoakam is ready to talk. They made me unique and led to stardom. Before Dwight Yoakam became a country music celebrity, he persevered through rejection and late nights in smoky bars. He began performing in modest Southern California venues in the late 1970s and early 1980s, a region not known for country music twang. However, Dwight's backwoods honky-tonk contrasted with Nashville's polished, pop-oriented country. He rejected the urban cowboy trend and embraced Bakersfield and rockabilly. His sincerity initially made it hard for him to secure gigs, but it set him distinct. Yoakam's shows were unfiltered. He played 5 sets a night in bars where fights broke out and beer bottles may fly. He used every performance to improve his art, despite the filthy conditions. Without mainstream financing or label support, Dwight converted crowds one song at a time through word of mouth. Despite hardship and uncertainty, these early years forged the fire and edge that would define his sound and live performances. Interestingly, Dwight's first Nashville market attempts were ignored. He moved to Music City in 1976 and found that the company prioritized songwriters and polished studio performers over live artists. He realized that Nashville back then was more about publishing than personality, and his rough-around-the-edges, high-energy stage show was not their paradigm. Dwight dared to innovate in tradition rather than conform. These early challenges set the stage for country music's revolution. Dwight Yoakam gained a dedicated following before charting by staying true to his origins and embracing his gritty music community. His battlefield experience provided him with legitimacy and seasoning that a studio can't replicate. Guitars, Cadillacs wasn't a hit when he released it. It was the battle cry of a guy who had risen and never compromised his values. After years of rejection, Yoakam's debut proved that remaining true to his roots might revolutionize country music forever. Triumph of guitars, Cadillacs, etc. Dwight Yoakam's 1986 debut. It was more than a good debut. It injected adrenaline into country music. The genre was straying toward pop-driven production, but Yoakam's record returned it to its roots. The record, produced by longtime partner Pete Anderson, embraces the Bakersfield sound, a California-born country genre with twangy guitars, sharp edges, and honky-tonk pounding. From the earliest notes, Yoakam wasn't following trends. He forged a new path with rock and roll sensibility. The album's debut song, a rendition of Johnny Horton's Honky Tonk Man, quickly rose to the top and introduced Yoakam's unique style to the nation. Guitars, Cadillacs, the title track, best defined his debut. Its catchy guitar riffs, lonely lyrics, and swaggering confidence made it Yoakam's career-defining anthem. Its success on country charts and in surprise urban areas showed that Dwight was onto something bigger, a burgeoning thirst for authenticity in a genre many thought had lost its edge. Guitars, Cadillacs, etc. Etc. was as popular with audiences as critics. With his double platinum album, Yoakam was credited with redefining country music's cool and legitimacy. Other performers distinguished themselves by combining music and showmanship with admiration for genre legends. Dwight lived country and reminded everyone what it sounded like without gimmicks. He was both revivalist and revolutionary due to his vintage look and rebelliousness. Guitars, Cadillacs launched Dwight Yoakam's country music career and dramatically altered it. He sold out venues nationwide, but no longer played dive bars and rock clubs in Los Angeles. More importantly, he showed the business in Nashville that risk-takers with grandiose ideas might succeed. Pioneering this new notion, it launched a decades-long career and influenced hundreds of singers to establish themselves in country music history. Beck's surprising change. Dwight Yoakam's career changed when he worked with Beck. Beck's genre-bending style gave Yoakam's conventional foundations a new, experimental spin. Beck produced 2 tracks on Yoakam's 2012 album, 3 Pairs, launching their collaboration. This odd pairing showed that country music could grow without losing its soul across generations and styles. Beck inspired Yoakam to experiment with raw honesty and sound. Recording A Heart Like Mine was a turning point in their collaboration. Beck had Yoakam keep a scratch track on electric guitar, which he rarely played. Yoakam's creative approach changed at this moment. He abandoned perfectionism and embraced genuineness, recapturing his early work's emotional intensity. Yoakam found artistic freedom under Beck's direction. He added vulnerability and energy to his new content by recalling his youthful live performances. The partnership also introduced Yoakam to indie and alt-rock fans unfamiliar with his music. Beck's experimental style and Yoakam's Bakersfield twang created a classic modern sound. This cross-pollination was evident in pedal steel guitars spinning around rich vocal harmonies and innovative rhythms on Take Hold of My Hand and Rock It All Away. Yoakam wanted to push artistic boundaries while being true to herself throughout the cooperation. Beyond the music, the Beck collaboration changed Yoakam's art. His genre-bending, risk-taking music reminded listeners and critics that he was more than a country conventional. Their collaboration showed that development might require peeling back layers to get something basic. Beck was an unlikely collaborator, yet he revived Yoakam's desire to experiment and cemented his status as one of America's most daring artists. Most importantly, the Beck cooperation showed Yoakam that artistic progress must be based on honesty rather than profit. Yoakam relied on his instincts and the moment rather than industry rules or radio success. This move allowed him to express himself more in his production and lyrics, reminding him that vulnerability and spontaneity are stronger than polish. Reclaiming artistic freedom with Beck wasn't a creative misstep. It still resonates in his songs. After becoming a country music pioneer, Dwight Yoakam's skills extended beyond the stage. Yoakam discovered he could hold an audience's attention in school plays and community theater early in his career. Early performance outside of music piqued his attention, leading him to Hollywood. While his career peaked in music, Yoakam always wanted to tell stories in cinema and television that fit his artistic sensibilities. In Billy Bob Thornton's 1996 picture Sling Blade, Yoakam played abusive Doyle Hargraves, his breakthrough performance. The dark, passionate performance shocked fans and critics, revealing a new side of Yoakam. His visceral performance gained him accolades and established him as a legitimate actor, not just a musician in movies. Yoakam's modest yet powerful manner brought realism to every character he played after Sling Blade's breakthrough. Yoakam has starred in many films, including Panic Room, The Newton Boys, and Crank. He also made remarkable cameo appearances on Under the Dome and Wilfred, demonstrating his versatility. Yoakam preferred complex, offbeat roles that let him express his music's emotional depth. He was ideal for dramatic and character-driven roles due to his low-key, gritty acting style, which complemented his music. Acting broadened Yoakam's artistic vision and connected him to fans. Others were surprised to see the country superstar play characters so different from his stage persona. However, Yoakam was a storyteller who was honest, open, and emotive, whether on tour with an acoustic guitar or in front of a camera. His transition from stage to movie was an extension of his creative endeavor that made him a global legend, proving that creativity knows no genre. Yoakam was able to explore new artistic expressions that matched his music, thanks to his seamless transition into acting. He created characters from the inside out, exploring their motivations, hurts, and humanity, just like he did with songs. He has said in interviews that each craft has the same rhythm, a cadence of emotional beats that, when performed truly, resonate with an audience. Yoakam's performances as villains, drifters, and wise outsiders were grounded and memorable. Nashville, country music's capital, was skeptical of Dwight Yoakam's early country music career. Yoakam embraced the raw, twang-heavy Bakersfield sound, popularized by Buck Owens and Merle Haggard, instead of 1980s mainstream country. Many executives found Yoakam's honky-tonk style odd in Nashville's urban cowboy trend, which blended pop and country. While traditional, his music had a unique edge. Yoakam's image contrasted with Nashville's star standards. Unlike his peers, he donned skin-tight trousers, bright jackets, and a low-slung cowboy hat that became his hallmark appearance. He was too radical and unconventional for the country's gatekeepers, who disliked his strong style and demeanor. His choice to grow his following base in Los Angeles rock clubs and alternative venues instead of Music Row deepened the split, showing his desire to carve his own lane. Yoakam increased his independence rather than waiting for acceptance. He and Pete Anderson, a kindred spirit producer, produced a honky-tonk rock and roll sound. Despite Nashville's rejection, Guitars, Cadillacs, etc. was a hit. Despite radio shifts, the album's popularity showed the industry that traditional country music was in demand. It boldly supported Yoakam's integrity and intransigence. Ultimately, Dwight Yoakam's feud with Nashville was about artistic tension rather than hatred. He challenged traditions and inspired others who valued authenticity over routine. Nashville gradually embraced more artistic diversity, and Yoakam's initial reluctance helped to grow the genre. Former outsider Dwight Yoakam proved that country music has room for rebels, and sometimes they carry it the farthest. This time, the two collaborated for nearly 20 years, releasing a succession of critically praised and commercially successful songs that established Yoakam as a rock and roll purist. They worked well together, with Anderson's guitar and production matching Yoakam's voice and vision. Secretly, their professional relationship began to crumble in the early 2000s. Yoakam was sued by Pete Anderson for breach of contract in 2004 for failing to perform multiple concerts. Anderson claimed Yoakam's cancellation of engagements caused significant financial hardship, especially as he had prepared for the gigs himself. The legal complaint highlighted long-standing disputes over managerial decisions and commercial priorities. Details of the out-of-court settlement were kept undisclosed. Although neither side publicly commented on the settlement, it was clear that their relationship was irreparably damaged. The court battle destroyed one of country music's most successful producer-artist combinations and changed Yoakam's career. After the divorce, Yoakam produced his own albums, giving him more creative control but changing the sound. Yoakam and Anderson have been guarded but respectful about their collaboration, despite the painful breakup. The partnership marked Yoakam's career peak, with inventiveness and honesty in every song, according to many admirers. The collapse highlighted the delicate balance between art and commerce, especially in long-term creative partnerships. They've never reassembled professionally, but their unique sound has influenced generations of musicians. After his legal disagreement with Pete Anderson ended a crucial creative partnership, Yoakam's battle with Warner Songs revealed a deeper, more emotional struggle for ownership and control of the songs that characterized his legacy. Dwight Yoakam sued Warner Music Group, a major record label, in 2021 about his early music rights. The disagreement centered on Yoakam's 1980s country music pioneering debut album, Guitars, Cadillacs, etc., etc. Yoakam sued Warner Music for not honoring his Copyright Act termination notices, which allow artists to reclaim rights to their works 35 years after release. Yoakam claimed the label illegally exploited and distributed his early tracks. Veteran artists are increasingly using the Copyright Act's termination provision to reclaim their most valued works. Reclaiming those rights was a legal and personal milestone for Yoakam, who co-wrote most of his early albums and determined their style. Warner's ownership of masters and distribution channels limited his ability to manage and profit from his legacy, according to his legal team. The case highlighted music business tensions as musicians challenge record label-favored contractual norms. Warner Music's defense questioned Yoakam's termination, notices legality and timing on contractual and procedural grounds, but the lawsuit was never tried publicly. The parties settled privately in 2022 without disclosing the terms. Despite the lack of public details, the settlement indicated that both sides reached a mutually suitable conclusion, which likely included revisions to Yoakam's early catalog's monetization or handling. Yoakam's reputation as a musician and the case's focus on legacy performers' struggle garnered attention. The argument showed how musicians lose IP years after release. Yoakam has been mute on the outcome, but the act showed his commitment to defending his creative rights and honoring his early music contributions. The complex relationship between copyright law and corporate music ownership served as a warning and inspiration for other musicians. Dwight Yoakam's 2000 Western epic South of Heaven, West of Hell was one of his most ambitious and controversial films. Yoakam starred, wrote, directed, co-produced, and scored the soundtrack, taking full creative control. The picture starred Vince Vaughn, Bridget Fonda, and Billy Bob Thornton. and combined rugged Western aesthetics with psychological depth. Star power and Yoakam's love for the topic didn't help the picture succeed critically or commercially. Critics lambasted South of Heaven, West of Hell as incoherent, self-indulgent, and grandiose. A convoluted plot and uneven pacing led to bad reviews, and the movie failed at the box office and in home video distribution. Despite Yoakam's artistic goals, critics felt that his inexperience as a director hampered the film. Initially intended as a dramatic Hollywood crossover, instead, it demonstrated how creative overreach can backfire. Yoakam struggled financially with the film. After key funders pulled out, Yoakam reportedly funded a large part of the film with own money and even went into debt. The financial hardship affected his finances and strained relationships with experienced band and business friends. Some of Yoakam's inner circle's professional rifts led to lawsuits and management changes. Even though it was criticized, South of Heaven, West of Hell is a crucial part of Yoakam's artistic vision and risk-taking. Many fans and industry experts view the film as a failed experiment, not a complete failure. Yoakam rarely discusses the film's aftermath, but it stands as a monument to an artist who won't play it easy. If the incident humbled him, it simply strengthened his resolve to follow his vision, even at great cost. Dwight Yoakam's fascinating roles have shown his versatility and depth as an actor. Yoakam's breakout role in Sling Blade as the volatile Doyle Hargraves led to further roles that displayed his talent. He plays Raoul, a disguised invader in David Fincher's Panic Room, 2002, a terrifying character with a subtle malice. Viewers were struck by the contrast between his musical reputation and this gloomy, subdued character, establishing him as a serious actor. Yoakam's cameo in Wedding Crashers, 2005, and his role as the strange and eccentric Dr. Cahill in Wilfred showed his lighter, more humorous side. These parts let him experiment with humor and surrealism, expanding his repertoire beyond extreme drama. His solid performances on CBS's Under the Dome showed his ability to plunge into serialized storytelling, adding depth to ensemble characters. Yoakam has been conscientious and humble about his acting career. He often tells reporters that his acting method is like his music, real, heartfelt, and respectful of storytelling. He credits junior high and high school theater for giving him the guts to portray difficult roles and trust his instincts in front of the camera. For Yoakam, acting is about finding new ways to express the raw emotions that drive his songwriting. Yoakam sees his music and film success as intertwined. He's never separated them, but he's always known that acting was about telling a true, lived-in story. Yoakam is an uncommon talent that connects Hollywood and country music with honesty, tenacity, and a love of his profession as he expands his acting career. Yoakam also considers how performing has affected his mental health as an artist and storyteller. Emotional nuance has returned to song lyrics and feelings after getting into and out of other individuals. He's said that on-screen vulnerability is like playing guitar on stage. Honesty and intimacy are needed. This artistic alignment has enhanced his performances in both media, revealing his honesty in surprising ways. As Yoakam contemplates the acting's emotional depth,